Hey there, www.andrewmartinmusic.com. Another informal chat, early morning in the van, or late night, early morning. And this one is Atman Is Brahman, quote unquote, with a question mark. And here, make sure you put the N at the end of Brahma, because we're talking about Brahman here. So there's a primary distinction between Brahma, the creator god of the material universe, and Brahman, the god of everything. So anyway, that's a bit of a side issue here, but it's worth noting right off the top, especially because I'm gonna, fuse this into Sethian Christian Gnostic views along this line. So the claim is in the Vedas that thou art that, that Swamiji has realized samadhi nirvipalka. And what this implies is Swamiji is all-knowing and all-powerful, because it's a direct pathway to being Brahman. And Brahman is all-knowing and all-powerful, according to the Vedas. So if Atman is Brahma and Swamiji realizes that his Atman is Brahma, then he is, by definition of the Vedas, all-knowing and all-powerful. So this is the basic claim, and I'm going to apply some critical thinking to this understanding. So let's say we have two Swamijis. We have one Swamiji who says Atman is Brahma and declares that they are all-knowing and all-powerful, and their all-knowing Atman says that Brahma is not the cause of the physical universe. It's not the cause of Prakriti. Satchitananda is an ocean of bliss that supervenes but doesn't cause the material universe. And then you have another Swamiji who says Atman is Brahma, which implies that they are all-knowing and all-powerful, that Atman is the cause, that Brahma is the cause of the material universe. In fact, Brahman authors everything here. So similar to the claim in the Torah that Yahweh authors both good and evil, this Swamiji has to, by definition, say that Brahman is the cause of all evil. And this is accomplished via the perfect karma. So Brahma knows the every karmic situation, and if the karmic situation calls for evil, then it's Brahma's perfect karma that is implementing that evil. So how can it be any other way? If God is all-powerful, this actually is coherent. So the other aspect of Swamiji's claim that Atman is Brahma is all-powerful. But I don't see how this can be the case. I mean, the only way I can really get across what I'm going to say here is now to sort of swerve into the Sethian Christian Gnostic view. And the closest you're going to get to it in India was Kabir's Anurag Sagar, which I think, in my opinion, has been watered down through the ages via the commentaries and made to conform to, traditional Vedic views of thou art that. But that's sort of a side issue. but it is the closest you can get to a Sethian Christian Gnostic view. So to get my point across, what happens within the Gnosis of Sethian Gnostics is that the veil of amnesia is slowly stripped away through the knowledge, through the Gnosis that Christ Sophia imparts to a person. But what doesn't happen is you don't become all powerful and all knowing when that Gnosis, that amnesia, is stripped away. What happens is you become aware of your existential situation, of the problem of your existence. You become aware that you are not of the Kanoma, you are not of the material universe, you are of the Pleroma. But this awareness, this dawning light within you as a Sethian Christian Gnostic, does not make you all-knowing, and it does not make you all-powerful. This is the, I'm going to use the word dominion of the gods. This is the dominion of the Pleroma. Those type of attributes of omnipotence and all-knowing, all-powerful are attributes of the Pleroma that a Sethian Christian Gnostic doesn't just receive and project onto the world, right? No, that's not how it works. The Sethian Christian Gnostic is still a monkey, embedded within frisky dirt, and we have to deal with the day-to-day trials and tribulations of being trapped in this material construct. We don't view this place as totally evil. To us, it's more of like a 50-50 situation. The demiurge did not create an entirely evil universe. That's not how it is. It's so. Anyway, that these are the points that I'm trying to make here. Is that if we compare the Sethian Gnosis metaphysics to two different schools of the Vedic ideas surrounding enlightenment. This is Samkhya and Advaita Vedanta. My suggestion is that the Sethian Christian Gnostic school actually aligns more with reality, right? It's closer to what is real and honest about existence. It's not making extraordinary claims about the human soul and abilities that it clearly doesn't have. I mean, the problem, if you say that you've experienced samadhi nirvipalka and you are one with Brahman and you are all knowing and all powerful, is that you're just not. You're not all powerful. You cannot create universes. A human cannot create universes. A human cannot create life. So there's something about it that is inherently delusional, and may I even say, as a Sethian Christian Gnostic, deceptive about these conflicting claims of Atman Is Brahma and Samadhi Nirvipalka, and what that experience means. Now, I don't mean to be hostile here to the Vedas. I think that you can You can have an experience of bliss, and certainly Sethian Christian Gnostics are going to have that experience at times too. But then there's the interpretive framework of what that experience means. And I don't think it means what a Veda Swamiji says within the specific context of claiming to be Brahman, who is all-knowing and all-powerful. The claim doesn't really add up. It doesn't, synthesize with reality. So basically, that's what I want to say in this video, that there's something not quite right with the claims of the Vedic schools on this particular issue. Something's not adding up. And I think that the Sethian Christian Gnostics have a more coherent view of the monad and how a human relates to this monad, and what happens to a human when they have spiritual gnosis, and what doesn't happen, and it's a real problem, this kind of fundamentalist view within the Vedas, it doesn't really pan out. And I'm not a hostile person to the Vedas. I think it's an amazing tradition as far as it goes, right? But there are definite claims being made, especially when it comes to miracles. I mean, I'm 66 and I started reading Vedic literature when I was in my teens. And some of the ideas promoted by the Vedas is that, Jesus, he was just a poser when it comes to miracles. The real Swamiji, the real ones, who are Brahman, they can do. Their miracles make Jesus look like a third-rate huckster, Yet, come on. In our world, there are no Swamijis that are claiming Samadhi Nirvipalka, who are claiming that, which implies that they're all powerful, who are doing anything extraordinary when it comes to supernatural miracles. It just ain't happening. So, there's something, again, not adding up here. So, and this is in no way a refutation of an experience of Satchitananda. What it is, it's a critical assessment of the claims being made by those who say they have experienced it, and going, well, wait a minute, this isn't adding up. The claims are not adding up. They're not aligning with reality. They seem delusional. So anyway, I think this is basically what I wanted to say this morning. Is Atman the Brahma? Is Brahma all-powerful and all-knowing? And when a human says that thou art that they are Brahman, it should make them all-powerful and all-knowing, right? If you put two Swamijis side by side and they have a conflict about epistemology, about knowledge, then how can they both be all-knowing? There should be, if two Swamijis are in perfect alignment about all-knowingness, then I can't see how there could be any whatsoever, none, zero contradictions, which is obviously not the case. You have at least 6 major schools of philosophy within the Vedic traditions, all contradictory. So yeah, it's not adding up. I think there's one aspect of this is a cultural hubris, which is similar to the hubris within the claims of the rabbis and the Torah, that it's India where all the spiritual knowledge came from. And of course, egotistical cultural pride, right? And the claims that come along with it. But anyway, I'm sort of drifting off here, and I think I made the point that I wanted to make, so ciao.